The God of War Laufey discourse is really weird to me. And I think this is one of the clearest examples of a very vocal minority. I have no statistics or anything like that to go on. I'm just going off the top of my head and what I really feel in my heart. The response that the God of War, the recent ones, the recent games, 2018 Ragnarok, Valhalla add-on, DLC, whatever. The response has been so overwhelmingly positive. They were bestsellers, great reviews. I think either 2018 or Ragnarok got a game of the year. I want to say 2018. Um, they were just they were excellent games. I loved them. They brought the series forward into the modern generation and everything like that. Upgraded the I won't say upgraded, but reinvigorated the combat system. Uh, I just loved them. I just loved them. And God of War Lofe looks like a return to form. So not only does it have the best of the modern world as far as the graphics, the combat system, the reinvigorated combat system, which your parrying, your using the shoulder buttons primarily as opposed to the square triangle or square triangle like we're all used to, all that good old stuff. But you're gonna get new weapons. You're gonna get the upgrading your armor, changing the looks of the character, and you're also gonna get the things that you missed from the OG combat, the double jump, the air combos. Faye is probably gonna have access to a whole different magic set, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. Why don't we want to play this game? Why does this game look bad? I'm not understanding it. Faye looks like Faye. Like I think I heard something along the lines of she's not super crazy attractive. She looks pretty much like she did when she was shown in God of War Ragnarok. And everybody seems to want lower accurate characters and everything like that. We get upset with race swaps or things of that nature. She looks like a lower accurate Norse woman. Ginger, the red hair, fair skinned maiden and whatnot. She's a bit dainty, but she's incredibly capable. She's dainty yet sturdy at the same time. You know what I mean? So like, why are we? So I understand the criticisms of the cube, Frank. Um, he doesn't look like he fits into this world, and I don't know what pantheon a cube could have came from. But what I'm thinking is going to happen with Frank is at some point in time during the story, Frank is going to change forms. Frank is not going to remain a cube the whole story. I'm willing to bet on that. Frank is some well known character in some pantheon, and we're going to, that's going to be part of the narrative of God of War Lofe. It's not only completing, Faye's narrative, completing her story arc, but you're also going to help out that sword. And you're going to help Frank be whatever it is that he's really supposed to be. I'm thinking that the reveal is going to come midway. Maybe it won't come until the end of the game. And that might be worth another video, doing a little research, a little deep dive, and trying to figure out who Frank is. But Frank is not just gonna be Frank. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. I refuse to believe that Frank is just gonna be a gelatinous cube the whole game. And even if he was, it's a video game at the end of the day. Like I don't mind my video games being video gamey. It's okay. It's okay. So having like a trash talking, wisecracking cube, as long as it's done well, and Santa Monica's narratives and dialogue have been excellent. Mimir was excellent. He was a great companion for Kratos. Loved his stories, loved his riddles, Loved his sense of humor, loved his point of view, loved how he was a mentor um, to Atreus and a sounding board for Kratos, sort of his therapist at times and everything. Absolutely loved Mimir. Mimir was a great character. Brock and Sindri, great characters. Great character development. Their, sort of mini story of those brothers going their separate ways, being at odds, and then reuniting over the course of Ragnarok 2018. Not Ragnarok, I'm sorry. God of War 2018. Going on to be, close companions in Ragnarok, and then Sindri suffered his loss and all that good stuff. Like that was a beautiful addition to the God of War lore. And so to think that somehow they've just completely forgot how to tell stories, how to do side characters, how to create interesting narratives, how to do innovative gameplay. I just don't understand how we've taken that leap from two of the best games of the new generation, 2018 and Ragnarok, to they just completely dropped the ball. And then Faye, they've been building up Faye since 2018. She was literally the whole reason for the journey in 2018. She was the one who marked their path. She traveled the entire path before them and marked the way. She was the one who gifted Kratos the Leviathan axe in the first place. It was originally her weapon designed just for her to combat Thor and to be able to go toe to toe with Mjolnir. She fought both Kratos and Thor. We get a lot more lore about Faye in Ragnarok on how strong a warrior she was. Even Balder was originally looking for Faye at the beginning of 2018 because, you remember the line, I thought you would be bigger. He was looking for a giant. Balder was coming to get Faye. He wasn't coming for Kratos. Kratos just got caught up in that shit. So now we get to see the type of warrior that was built up in the legends of 2018 and Ragnarok. Santa Monica has been building up to this. So what if you didn't, I won't say if you didn't see this coming, Europe Toos, but now that it's here and you can't recognize, oh, they were clearly building up to this. That's why you didn't see that much of her. That's why you only got glimpses of her in Ragnarok. That's why bits of her lore were scattered throughout both stories. That's why Kratos held her in such high regard. Sindri was ready to die when he first met Kratos and he realized that that wasn't Kratos' ex. He was going to go to war over that. He was going to get destroyed, but he was willing to die on that hill. Hey, that's not your ex. That wasn't made for you. You're going to have to get that back. Put him up. Like, that's the type of impact that Faye the character had on these other characters that we're so familiar with. So to not want to see what the big deal is, I just don't understand that logic. That's really wild to me. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I would like to think that there is some greater criticism other than you're being made to play as a woman, because that's stupid, right? Because there's plenty of female characters that we like playing as, right? Like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, whether it be the old games or the newer ones. Um, I think the first Horizon Zero Dawn was really well received. Ellie from The Last of Us, we enjoyed playing with her. Oh, that was about to sound crazy. We enjoyed playing as her when she was young. And we also enjoyed playing as her when she was a bit older. Now, some of the writing choices may have been wild, but Ellie's combat, her move set, her stealth mechanics, playing as Ellie was great. That's not really a thing, right? Y'all really don't dislike playing as female characters. That's not real, right? Like, that's got to be imagination. Oh, excuse me. And over the years, we've just had plenty of amazing female characters. I just named a few, and I'm doing this off the top of my head. I'm sure if I was to do a quick Google search, I could find a million more female characters. Shoot, even Catwoman in Arkham City, the Catwoman DLC, when you get to play several sections as Catwoman, I enjoyed those just fine. I never thought to myself, God, I'm tired of playing as Catwoman. I'm ready to get back to being Batman. Like the Catwoman sections were great back in Arkham City. Thoroughly enjoyed those. Arkham Knight playing as Barbara in the DLC. Excellent time. Excellent time. Love her moves set, love her combat. So I just can't imagine that these are genuine criticisms. And I haven't heard, the only genuine criticisms I've heard is Frank looks out of place and something about, the way the game looks isn't hitting for you. I mean, that's not really a criticism. That's more just, your knee jerk opinion. But the combat looks great to me. The sword is only going to be one of the weapons she could use. Obviously, they're going to give her, more weapons. In every single God of War game, you've gotten to use more than just, one weapon. So they're going to give her weapons options. You're going to be able to change her appearance with different armor sets. Um, the narrative, there's no reason to think that the narrative won't be amazing, that it won't, pull you forward. They're using multiple mythologies all in once. So there's a huge chance that you're going to see some of the Greek gods that Kratos already destroyed. They were sort of alluding to that in Valhalla. Because in Valhalla, you got Norse gods, you got Greek gods, they were interacting with Kratos and he had to go back and fight. You had those old settings. So they're pretty much showing you what the game plan is. You're going to get everything you've been wanting in a God of War game. The only thing is that you won't be playing as Kratos. And excuse me, that's just for right now. Like, we already got God of War 2018. I think, 3-4 years later, which is a reasonable time span, we got Ragnarok. 6 months to a year after Ragnarok drops, we get Valhalla. Okay, so that's three God of War games right now. I'm counting that as three. Because Valhalla was its own thing, and it had a separate story that it added. It really added a lot to the second game, so I'm counting that as really its own game. They're already working on the God of War remake trilogy. God of War trilogy remake. So we're getting plenty of Kratos, and this is a spin-off game. More than likely, Kratos will be included in, cutscenes and flashbacks. We already saw him once, and that's going to connect even more to 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. It's just going to be excellent. And the criticism just seems fake to me. Like, if you were genuinely a fan, if you actually played 2018, if you actually played Ragnarok, if you actually played Valhalla, I feel like you're excited to see Laufey, and if you didn't play them and you look at this and say, well, this is just not for me, why would they go in this direction? Go play the games and maybe you'll understand. Or if you don't feel like playing the games, at least watch some videos on it. They have so many theories and breakdowns of who is Laufey and how she connects, and just they're really completing the Norse storyline by showing what happened to Faye in the afterlife. I think this is going to move the story forward. It's very possible that her and Kratos reconnect somewhere in the game in the future. I just think the criticisms is way off, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But to say that this is like a bad direction for Santa Monica, this is a bad direction for the God of War games, it's a spinoff game. They're having some fun. They're doing something a little different. They're building out the worlds even more so. And imagine, now that we've seen, Faye go through whatever she's going to go through in this afterlife of the gods, we know that Kratos goes in and out of afterlives, underworlds, Helheims, whatever he needs to. He goes in and out of them at will. He broke down the doors of Valhalla. What if in the sequel to God of War Laufey, we get God of War 6, where Kratos now needs to go to the Everwind, this afterlife that they're creating in Laufey, and he needs to go save Faye. Maybe him and Atreus meet up to go save Mama. Like, this is going to set up so much for the future, and you're being so short-sighted and not giving this the opportunity to be amazing. And think, we only saw 20 minutes of combat. We saw the beginning levels of her combat. So after you continue to upgrade the character, Faye is going to be an absolute monster by the end of the game. By your mid game, you're going to be destroying stuff. Like, it's going to be beautiful. She'll have multiple weapons. She's going to be flipping all over the place, double jumping, air comboing, magic summons. The companions are going to be helping her. It's going to be a great time. So I just wanted to talk about this. This was, a stream of consciousness rant. And if you listen to me, I appreciate it. This has been Boney Entertainment. Hope you were entertained. Peace and love.